So, welcome to another day at JSH Rabbit. This is a place where we make magic happens.
Yeah, man, definitely. So today we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to be doing a video on one of the things that we think contributes to running a successful rabbitry. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that one.
So come with us and join us on this adventurous journey.
Today, what we're going to talk about is the housing aspect of rabbit rearing, which is very important because before you even start a rabbitry, you have to know where you're going to put them. Alright?
That's true.
Yes. You have to be mindful of whether you're going to use like a shed type system, a building, or you're going to use a hutch.
You first have to think about what size you want to start off with. The thing is, is that sometimes you have only a few rabbits and you want to go into large scale. So you build a building, a house that is small enough to hold those rabbits. And that would be a big mistake. That would be one of the biggest mistakes in my opinion. What you have to bear in mind is that you have to plan for expansion.
Yeah.
So you really want to build a building that would accommodate further growth in the short to medium term, and then from there you can contemplate expanding on that if the business goes well enough in the long run. What I was talking about specifically was the house itself and not the hutch, because some farmers might want to go the hutch route because it would be cheaper to start off with and easier. So you just build, and as you get more rabbits, you just build another one. But for us in the commercial setting, we want to have everything organized.
Right.
So we would recommend, if you're going to go the commercial route, to get a rabbit house.
Right.
And as I said before, you build it at a size that is
Allows for future expansion.
So you need, and then that would come into spacing now.
Right. So basically, we at JSH, we took the route of making a building. Right. So we have a building and we use wire cages and frames, and that allows us to be relatively organized.
Yeah.
Right. Along with that, you also need to be mindful of your storage needs. So you need to you need to allocate space for your workstation and any other tools that you will need, as well as say feed.
So the next thing you need to look at after you have decided on the rabbit house is what materials are you going to use to basically construct the building. Let me start off with the uprights. As it relates to the uprights, I personally would rather concrete. So you have you'd have built the corner posts then out of concrete. In between you can always use like a 4x4, but that's my personal preference. Or you could use pipes, metal pipes, because to me that would carry into the long term. And when you're building a building, I say go long term. But what if your pocket isn't deep enough? Then you could forego some of these. You can easily go with the 2x4, 4x4, or you can easily go the route of posts, because post is very affordable, especially here in Jamaica. So you can always go that route.
Alright. So the next thing you should consider as it relates to your building material is what you will use for the roof. Now, depending on your choice, whether you choose like a hutch or a shed or whatever, your roofing material might be different. Typically we would recommend using like galvanized zinc or alloy steel zinc. However, you know, depending on where you are and materials you have available, persons can use even like thatch and those type of things.
Yeah.
Some plastic material or even what we call continuous roofing or continuous sheeting to make the roof. So it all depends on what you have available and your budget. Another aspect of, you know, your housing that you need to be mindful of is your design. What is your rabbitry going to look like? Layout, as it relates to that, is also important. You know, where are the cages going to go? Where is going to be the storage / work area? And all of that ties into like your wind flow also, right? So you have to design the building in such a way that air can pass through freely. You have to space it to allow for air to pass through quickly. You try to get as much natural ventilation as possible, and you know, it would be a good idea to line it up in, you know, where it gets good wind direction.
Now, as it relates to the flooring now, I have seen a lot of persons use sand or they use dirt. They use sand, and you know, if you have a small rabbitry, then you know the waste would go there and you just rake off the waste. But I don't think that would be the best way. I think concrete would have been the best choice for sanitation purposes. The next thing you have to also bear in mind as it relates to the design is the security. So when you're building your rabbitry, you must be aware of all the predators, including the two-legged one. So you always have to bear that in mind. So for us, we are lucky enough to not have the two-legged predators lurking around here. So all we do is we use the diamond wire to fence around our rabbitry. So that would prevent like the dogs and other animals that want to come in. To add to that though, sometimes you might want to have dogs as a predator, as a security, as a security for your premises. So you also can design it so that the dog that you have stays outside the rabbitry, but it is able to, you know, man the area, roam the premises, and protect you at the same time.
Another important design aspect that I neglected to mention earlier was actually the height of the roof. Now, how that is important is it factors into the temperature of your rabbitry. So if the roof is too low, then depending on the material that you use, it will bring a lot of heat to your rabbits.
Especially if they want to do like a two-tier.
Right. So the rabbitry, the point is the rabbitry shouldn't be too hot, because if it is, it will affect the performance of your animals, especially the bugs. Right? Yes. So the heat can actually cause them to become sterile, or you know, it might cause them to be lethargic, or they might even get heat stroke depending on how hot it is. Yes. So we recommend that, you know, you have a roof, it should be at least 10 feet. Yes. And that will allow for, you know, that will take the heat off the rabbits, and it will also allow for good air circulation as well.
Yes. So the location of your rabbitry is another important factor that you have to think about.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is to build a rabbitry in an area where it becomes a nuisance to your neighbors.
Right.
So you must be mindful of where you're putting the rabbitry as it relates to that.
You need to locate your rabbitry in a place that is accessible, especially to vehicles.
You need road.
Yes, so you don't want to put your rabbitry on a hillside where nobody can get to it, right?
I'm laughing because, you know, at one point we went to buy some rabbits, and even though it was close to the road, believe me, to transport rabbits and things down the hill that we had to go down, I mean, that was difficult.
Oh,
but
yeah. I remember
but then again, it depends on the land that you have access to.
Right.
So, but if you have access to land, choose wisely. More than one land, choose wisely.
Yes. You also want to put your rabbitry in a place, and this kind of goes back to, you know, the design to, or maybe the location.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole issue of the temperature and so forth too. So you want to put your rabbitry ideally in an area where there is shade.
Yes.
So that will help in controlling the temperature. Also, if it is in an area where there isn't much shade, the possibility exists that you could actually plant some trees, like some shade-giving trees to help with that.
Yeah, so when we relocate, we're going to contemplate doing that.
Yes.
But I was thinking more like the AC.
But with AC, better have that AC money. Yeah, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
With all of this,
Yes.
there comes a cost. And the cost is very important because you can't go above what you can afford.
Yes.
So what we recommend is that you think about what we're saying, rabbit house, even though we recommend rabbit house. Do you want to go to rabbit house? If you're going to go to the rabbit house, which materials are you going to use? More affordable ones like the posts, or you want to go to concrete and the metal for the uprights? Zinc is a must once you go in the rabbit house. But say for example you don't have that budget and you want to go the route of the hutch. So you have to always think about that. So bear this in mind.
Right. So one of the things that we learned from early out when we started was you don't go into the rabbitry business, you grow into the rabbitry.
Yeah, you grow into it. Yeah.
And you know, if you start off wrong, you might end up spending a lot of money that you don't necessarily need to spend. And trust me, I don't know if your money grows on trees, but money is hard to come by these days. So you have to be really mindful of the cost inputs of starting a rabbitry, what route you're going to take, and how you're going to afford all of those things.
So plan wisely, spend wisely, and start right. So whatever you're starting with, make sure it's the right road you're going down. So don't try to cut costs and do something that might affect you in the long run. Structure your business, plan it out, and know what you want to do from early.
So in my opinion, I have how do you say, like a philosophy on this. I am mindful of cost, but I am also mindful of what works. And I am a strong advocate in doing what works. So if you're looking for a particular objective and this is the way to get it, then I am willing to finance that as long as it works and it works well. So, you know, some persons might choose to go the cheaper route, but me personally, I am an advocate of doing what works and what works well. Considering the cost of it.
Considering that.
Yes. Naturally, no rabbitry is without fault, and ours is no different. When we started the rabbitry, we had a particular idea in mind, but of course the execution sort of left something to be desired. So one of the biggest challenges or the biggest problems that we have with the rabbitry is how the floor was actually designed. Now, I guess the reason for that was because we had some miscommunication with the builders, and also the space that we had available. So with this rabbitry, the biggest fault that we have is really the floor and the spacing that we have. So the walkways are a little bit too small, and also the flooring is designed in such a way that it makes it a little bit difficult to clean. So those are two things that we definitely want to improve in the next iteration of the rabbitry when we relocate. So you definitely want to do something that works and actually, how should I say this now, it actually makes your work easier. We've covered the most important aspects of housing that we think you should consider. Of course, if we've left anything out, feel free to make a comment in the comment section below, share with us what you think or if we missed anything.
Yes.
Alright, so that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and to share our videos, to tune in for the next one, and of course subscribe to the channel. Alright?
So until then,
peace. Oh, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Season's greetings from us at JSH Rabbit.
Yes, man, yes.
Yeah.
Peace.